Please. Okay, we are live. It says we are live.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Welcome everyone to the episode 1 of Wildman. Or wow, I already 14 seconds in, I already screw up. Wow.
The Wildside podcast, or Call on the Wildside,
or Wildman and Friends.
Wild man. Wild thing. You make my heart.
I guess I should I tell everyone where I got the Wildman name? I guess I should tell them, huh?
Yeah, it's the first episode of the first podcast. Might as well.
Yeah. Okay. So where I got the name Wildman is I was a hyperactive child. Let's just put it like that. And my uncle just started calling me Wildman, and it stuck with me all this time. So that's where it came from. Okay, so so Decker, if you could send a link on Twitter for us, please, if you would like, if it's okay.
Let me see. All right.
Awesome. And so basically our first episode for the podcast is we're going to be talking about a great Disney movie. In fact, it's a very underrated Disney movie, and it hasn't been ruined yet. It's probably my favorite Disney movie of all time. And that's saying a lot. We're talking about none other than the Great Mouse Detective, and it's starring really the best actor in the whole freaking movie is Vincent Price as Ratigan, and I forget the other actors in the movie. It's just he outshines them all, except for
Price.
except for Fidget, which is played by a guy named Candy. And I think they're all dead now.
Bart.
Sorry.
Bossel's played by Barry Ingram.
Yes. And so I guess I'll start it off by giving my history with this movie.
Wildman.
So, yes. What? You rang? You rang, Tony? I'm sorry, Uzumaki.
No.
I should be wearing my Uchiha vest. I should be wearing my biker Uchiha vest. That's what I should be doing. Anyway.
Oh, hey, we can edit this in post later.
Maki Clan 7798.
Yeah, I was gonna say we should introduce each other.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yes, I'm your host. So, I am your host, Wildman, and then you list us off, and we say a little quip.
Okay, so I'm your host, Wildman, and welcome to the Wildside. I have with me my guest for this evening.
Your one opportunity, and you.
What I do? How'd I screw up? What I screw up this time?
No, you didn't. No.
I just screw it up. I just screw up, and
I didn't say that.
And it worked out. But I have with me my guest hosts, Uzumaki and Decker Ramirez. I'm gonna take that out.
You can go first, Tony.
Guess I'm supposed to say something. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Uzumaki Clan 7798 here with my friend Wildman here. No, that's generally how I start most of my videos, by introducing myself for my new subscribers. Or people who don't even subscribe at all, who just watch my Attack on Titan videos. Uzumaki Clan 7798, YouTube sensation.
Greetings and salutations, my fellow crowd hoppers and other viewers. This is Decker Ramirez, and I'm a guest on Wildman's Welcome to the Wildside podcast along with Uzumaki, and this is my first podcast ever. So that's a good.
I'm just really
That's a
falling in
highlight.
love with your voice.
See,
Uh,
all the more.
Whoa, let's not get
incentive-
too crazy here. Let's not get too crazy.
I was just gonna say, all the more incentive to pursue the audiobook and voiceover occupation.
yes. Okay, so I guess I'll start this off with my personal history with this movie. I first saw this movie in 1993. This movie was made and released in 1986, and I was about 4 years old, and I watched it at my great grandmother's house, and I have not seen it since until a few months ago when I was actually able to buy it on DVD. And I kid you not, I've actually lost track of how many times I've seen it, but it's in the low hundreds. And it's not like that's an exaggeration, but not by much. Like it got to the point where my dad was like,
"That's
"Are you
exactly
watching
the
that
same."
again?"
That's with me and
That's
with
the
like
same way how I
Aladdin.
was with the original. That's with me and the. That's me with the original Halloween. Actually, I've seen it like over 80 times.
Oh my!
I know it's not. I'm just using it as an example. That's the movie I've watched the most.
Yeah, my examples like also Disney. It's either like
But
Aladdin,
with
Lion
Disney
King.
movies, believe it or not,
Use it one more time, Tony. I was saying one more time with the Disney movie.
No, go ahead, Decker. I'll explain my list of when it comes to Disney. Go ahead.
Okay. See, my list of like Disney movies that I've saw like so many times.
With Disney, it was for me. It was, believe it or not, Lady and the Tramp.
I'm trying to think. Is there like a delay?
With my
between
list,
it?
it was
Yes,
there's
with my
some,
list.
there's
Though Disney
there's a
movies
little
I've
bit
seen
of a delay on Tony's side.
Oh, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. There's just
Can
a
you hear
little
me?
bit of a delay from at times.
Okay, sorry. When it comes to Disney, my favorites that I've seen like numerous times were always mostly the Pixar movies. I'm just saying like pure Disney. It would probably be Lady and the Tramp. I've seen that many times, even as a kid. I really like Beauty and the Beast. That one was good too. I really like Frozen. Frozen was really cool, even especially when it came out. People say it was overhyped, but I still loved it. And
it was overhyped.
One other Disney movie, one movie that I can say I really liked was Princess and the Frog. Was good too.
Princess and the Frog.
You know, I don't think I've ever seen
Yeah.
that one. That's the one where it takes place in Louisiana, right?
That was a good one. Real. Right, with the witch doctor and stuff. He was cool. He's super cool as a Disney villain. He's great.
Professor Sylvier, I believe.
And yep. Oh, also Fantasia. Fantasia was another one of my favorites.
Nice.
Oh, we got David on the chat.
Okay, we're bringing in David. We're bringing in David. Yes.
Yo.
Okay, we're all here. Okay.
Rocket Man. Rocket Man.
Yeah. Easy go.
Rocket Man.
Hey, I'm just saying this. I know it's all. I know that like this is the first stream, so we're not expecting perfection, but I'm still offering it on the table. Like if you want to like send me the raw footage in like a Google Drive or something, and I can like clean it up later.
Yeah, we'll have to do that. You might have to walk me through it a little bit.
Yeah,
but, like,
Do some edits.
Yeah, that would actually be really good.
Not too much. Just like say, put the introductions in the front and the. And I know there's like a delay with some of these scenes, so we can cut like some of the fodder.
Yes.
Hopefully
Basically, just trimming off the fat.
Yes.
Yes. We'll you and me will have to get together later and do that.
Okay.
Oh,
and speaking of, hey David, if you don't mind, you want to do like a little intro for yourself, or are you good?
Nah, I'm good.
All right. David be rocking it.
Okay, fine. Here's my intro. Yo, David B. rocking in the house. I rock.
Okay.
I rap. That's all.
Thank you, bud.
Okay. So,
Nothing but class.
Decker, would you like to give a plot synopsis
I love
of the movie?
I love how you have the 1, 2 on yours on screen.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks.
Great mouse detective.
And if anyone has questions about it, feel free to ask, and we'll discuss, because that's what this is about, a discussion on the movie, and we'll with a rough draft of things that I'd like to talk about, but overall it's a discussion.
Okay. All right, so the brief synopsis is the story revolves around. The story starts off with the little mouse girl named Olivia Flaversham, celebrating her birthday with her father, Hiram Flaversham, when suddenly a stranger appears at the door, trying to get in, and after hiding his daughter, Hiram is captured by by a mystery assailant. And
it's cool. It's cool.
That's okay. These are like happy nerves. See, so after her father is captured, she's
good narration.
Hang on. Let me do that again. Let's see. In London. In London. In London of June 1980.
Wait. Do a British accent.
I'll try. It's not my best, but I'm a little better with it. All right.
Poor man.
Talk to, like, okay. If you're gonna do a British accent, do it as Yami Bakura.
All right, mate. All right.
Yami Bakura. Oh, I don't remember Bakura's voice well enough.
Oh, you don't have to do the voice. Just like do the attitude. I'm messing with you. That's totally up to you. I'm just.
Okay. In London of June 1897. Come on. What's the London, England, die. All right, 3, 2, 1. In London, England, June 1897, a young mouse named Olivia Flaversham is celebrating her birthday with her toy maker father, Hiram. Suddenly, a bat with a crippled wing and peg leg bursts into Flaversham's workshop, kidnapping Mr. Flaversham, after he hid his daughter for safety. Olivia searches to find the famed great mouse detective named Basil of Baker Street, but gets lost. Along the way, a surgeon returning from war named Dr. David Q. Dawson. Yes, apparently they had a military even as mice back then. Let's see. A surgeon named Dr. David Q. Dawson, who has just returned from a lengthy service of the Mouse Queen's 66th Regiment in Afghanistan, meets with Olivia and escorts her to Basil's residence. Upon their arrival, Basil is initially indifferent, but when Olivia mentions the bat that abducted her father, upon their arrival, Basil is initially indifferent, but when Olivia mentions the bat that abducted her father, Basil realizes that Olivia saw Fidget, the assistant of Professor Radigan, a villain that Basil has attempted to arrest for years. And I'll just stop right there. And so begins the quest to find, and so begins Basil's new case to find Olivia's father and finally put a stop to Professor
Ratigan.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to find his first name as well. Never mind.
I didn't know he had a first name. That's saying something. Okay, so what y'all might not have known is that this movie is based off of Basil of Baker Street book series. It's a children's book series based off of Sherlock Holmes, and so it's Sherlock Holmes as a mouse, essentially. But the movie is actually based off, if I'm not mistaken, the third or fourth book, if I remember. And the books, because in the movie, it's very obvious, very well established that Ratigan and Basil have a history. They have a history with each other. And even in Ratigan's song, Greatest Criminal Mind, it references events of previous books.
Sorry, I gotta be a ham for a second. From the brain that brought you the Big Ben caper, the head that made headlines of every newspaper.
Okay.
All right.
I'm actually glad you brought that up, because I actually have the lyrics right here. There's two songs in here that I really, really like, and I'm going to read the lyrics to both of them. Okay, so it starts out with what you just said: the brain that brought you the Big Ben caper, the head that made headlines in every newspaper, the wondrous things like the Tower Bridge job, the cunning display that made Londoners sob. Now comes the real tour de force, tricky and wicked, of course. My earlier crimes were fine for their time, but now that I'm at it again, an even grimmer plot has been simmering in my great criminal brain. And this is what establishes Ratigan and Basil. Thank you, but it hasn't all been champagne and caviar. I've had my share of adversity thanks to that miserable second-rate detective, Basil of Baker Street. For years, that insufferable pipsqueak. It actually has boo in parentheses. For years, that insufferable pipsqueak has interfered with my plans. I haven't had a moment's peace of mind. Oh. But all that's in the past. This time, nothing, not even Basil, can stand in my way. All will bow before me. Now that's Ratigan's theme song, song, and that pretty much establishes he's just evil for evil's sake. He's the curling, mustache twirling evil. For whatever reason, what's that villain's name from Dudley Do Right? He always pops in my head when I see Ratigan.
Oh, I don't know his name, but I know who you're talking about.
Is it Snively Whiplash? No, is it? Maybe.
I want to say.
I don't remember. Yes. I think so. That he always it's essentially that.
Yeah.
Now, okay, let me find that. Okay. Now, this comes up much later in the movie, and I'll set up the scene. Basil and Dawson are in disguise in the underbelly bar, essentially. Dang it, sneeze. Yeah. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. And basically, this, the type, the woman singer, comes out, and like this is I will read you the words because my gosh, Disney, you used to be so great. Dearest friends, dear gentlemen, listen to my song. Life down here has been hard on you. Life has made you strong. Let me lift the mood with my attitude. Hey fellas, the time is right. Get ready, tonight's the night. Boys, what you're hoping for will come true. Let me be good to you. You tough guys. You're feeling all alone. You rough guys. The best you sailors and bums. Oh, all of my chums. So dream on and drink your beer. Get cozy, your baby's here. You won't be misunderstood. Let me be good to you. Hey fellas, there's nothing I won't do for you. So dream on. Wait, hold on. No, seriously, there's a part in there where like it says, "Let me take off all my clothes." I'm dead serious. Like they edited that. You suck, website.
Yeah, it's either an edit or it's a maybe it was a
Take
Mandela.
off all my clothes for you.
Yeah, freaking Dance Mouse. I'm not kidding.
Let me take my clothes off for you.
I'm
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
Oh my gosh! Come on, dude. That. Oh.
That
Insert-
right.
Insert
No, that
the
is
commercial,
awesome.
the shaving commercial with take it off, take it all off.
Pretty
Yes,
much, and she almost does. Like she doesn't, but she very well could have. Like.
Yeah.
Okay. I found it. Oh, I found it. Hey fellas, I'll take off all my blues. Okay. Yeah, because her clothes are blue.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so it was like subtlety and more than.
Yeah,
I mean, it was like
like she's
double
in,
entendre.
it's like I was like, wow, Disney, you used to not hold punches. What happened to you? She's
Hey,
dresses
Disney used
up
to
like.
satisfy both the adults and children.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing, like they in this, like, okay, I rewatched this scene, and during this scene, like a fight breaks out, and like guns are being held and everything, and like Basil helps up Dawson, and as he's helping him up, a knife throws. Like they don't even react to it, but a knife throws in between them and lands on the flip table right behind him. I'm like, and that's the first I ever noticed that part. I was like, whoa. Disney, you've fallen.
Or they were.
They've been falling
Or
behind.
like there's or like one scene where, I mean, in a sense, it's like kind of a sign of the times.
Mm-hmm.
Like even something as recent, quote unquote, as like Beauty and the Beast mentioned beer at least once. But yeah, that was like one of the lines where I'm like, yeah, this is definitely one of those Great Mouse Detective is definitely one of those movies where like it stayed classy, but they didn't pull too many punches. They like treated everyone with treated everyone with respect, or they just like, or they didn't go into too many details for like certain scenes, but they like left enough for you to get the picture. Like say when Basil was trying to get information, he was like 2 points here. Like shit. I mean I wanted to like see the camera. I wanted the camera to see it. It's like 2 points here for me and me crewmate.
Yes, like, and that's the way I look at that whole scene is like they're acknowledging that kind of environment exists.
Yes, exactly. It's like they acknowledge it exists, but they don't like go too far with it, but they show enough.
Mm-hmm. They show enough to let young kids know the kind of atmosphere and the kind of stuff that happens there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what makes it great, is because it's Disney's trying to make a more mature, somewhat still be for its audiences, which are young children. However, it makes it in a way where adults can enjoy it as well.
Yes, yes.
That's
And-
something that made Disney great back then, is that it was intended for children, but it could also market for adults as well.
Now, getting like, okay, so Vincent Price plays Sir Radigan. If I'm not mistaken, and I don't think I am, but I think this was his second to last movie he ever did, if not his second to last animated movie, because he was very old when he made this. It is also the only movie he ever sang in. But I also watched the special features, and like he had a very high respect for Disney. And what they did, because back then, like, granted, you could say that they're still huge now, but their reputation has fallen very far, depending on who you ask.
Yeah,
I will be fair, and I will say who you ask, but the 90s is like the 90s backwards, like early 2000s, definitely the 90s, but everything the 90s backwards. Disney was it in terms of animation.
Yeah, like the
like you could not get any higher. They are the WrestleMania. They are the Super Bowl in terms of cartoon animation.
Ever since the Little Mermaid,
yes,
80, I know it was like the late 80s when Little Mermaid came out, but from there up to the early 2000s, that was the renaissance for Disney. The Disney animation renaissance.
Now, where was I going? Oh, well, maybe I'll say that. Like, remind me, Decker, before we towards the end, I have to share this about the sequel.
Oh.
I didn't even know this was a thing.
Oh,
because
there was
apparently
a sequel?
There was a sequel in 2019 made. I'll just say it. There was a sequel made in 2019.
Are you serious?
And apparently it sucked. Because this is the first I've ever heard of it. And I looked it up. Okay. You know, if any of y'all have seen the two Secret of Nim movies, where like the first one and the sequel are just night and day in terms of tone and animation quality.
Yes,
that's what the sequel is to this. It's just night and day and just very, very inferior. Like Basil doesn't look the same at all. The little girl is apparently like the poster I saw was very jarring because it had the new models and the model of the little girl, but on the other side it had what clearly looked like the original model of the little girl. I'm like,
I know you kind of reminded me of have you seen Ferngully? Okay, this isn't just I mean, this happens every once in a while, but mostly the animated movies that aren't Disney, but I'm pretty sure they're guilty of this every now and again. When there's a when they bring something to to DVD or a re-release something, like it's still a good movie, but let me give an example. Like if you've watched Ferngully, like that was pretty. Like it had its flaws, but it was like a pretty good, decent Don Bluth movie.
Yes.
But for some reason, when they bring it, like when they made the DVDs, the art that they used does not do it justice. It's honestly kind of ugly, especially what they do with Krista.
She used to be hot. I mean, moving on. Well,
also another thing that I want to comment on because Peter, one thing I want to kind of quote on when it comes to Disney sequels is that they're really unnecessary, and it really jars me that you would make a sequel like 30 or 40 years after the original Like, for instance, the
Yes.
way how they made the Peter Pan sequel. Like, I'm going to tell you right now, Peter Pan is my all-time favorite Disney movie. There is no
Yes.
Disney movie seen on my list that tops Peter Pan. But when I saw the sequel, that was 20 years, no, more than after the original, I was thinking to myself, why? And I saw the animation, and it does not look good. Same thing with Lady and the
Yeah.
Tramp.
Like,
And
if I'm not,
so, why did
if
they
I
have to
remember
Cinderella?
right, when was the original Peter Pan made? It was in the 40s or 50s, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
It was in the
Like-
50s because Walt was still alive. Walt was still
Okay.
alive when
Okay.
he was making when he
Yeah.
made Peter Pan.
Like, that blew my mind because I didn't know, especially as a kid, I didn't know they had colored TVs back then.
Like
I
I'm
was
just
always-
Well, they
I'm
were
being
beginning to.
Yeah. One thing about the Peter Pan sequel, I am a little more lenient with it because it features like Wendy's daughter Jane, and like okay, like we know everyone in Neverland doesn't grow up, but but everyone else, like when Wendy goes back home, she's old enough to become a mom. So like in terms of like story and timeline, in that sense, I was like, okay, it kind of makes sense. Like it's not needed, but it's not like they shoehorned it in.
Mhm.
It's like it's still natural progression.
Because that was also a plot point in the Peter Pan movie Hook with Robin Williams.
Mm-hmm. And
I like
you're
that
right.
one
You're right.
actually.
Mm-hmm.
I love that movie.
Like Lady and the Tramp, the sequel.
Yeah,
I didn't care for that either. Like it's like
it was hideous.
that was
Yeah.
that was unnecessary too. I want to be nice, but I can't force it out.
Like I think that was
And
one of
Bambi
the few
and Bambi,
Disney sequels I ever
Bambi
saw.
too.
Like,
Bambi, the sequel.
I have trauma with Bambi, so let's not bring that up. It's
weird, like the interquels when they still give them like the interquels, they like take place like say when the character is still a kid, but before they grow up. Like a lot of them, they're like really hit and miss. On one hand, you might get Disney's Tarzan, which it didn't. I mean, Tarzan 2, it didn't need to be made, but like for the most part, I felt it still had the heart, and like they still cared about.
yeah, like they
Still had
tried.
to care about it. But on the other hand, you tend to get Bambi 2 and Fox and the Hound 2. Like, what else needed to be told? At least with Tarzan 2, there was a time skip.
Like with Fox and the Hound, like that whole story, while sad, was kind of meant to be sad, or well, maybe not sad, but bittersweet, because the whole story was about friendship.
Yep.
But
I have a fun fact that I read online.
And the worst one was
There's this one director named Bernie Madison, one of the directors from The Great Mouse Detective. He's the longest serving employee at Disney.
really,
Yeah.
is he still alive?
Yep.
Wow.
85 years
Oh,
old.
really?
He started there at 1953.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
What is your
19. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
1993. Like, yeah, I was 4 years old, and that's about the time when I first saw The Great Mouse Detective. My
dude?
gosh.
Like, honestly, if I was to live 80, honestly, I would kind of hate. If I was 80, I'm gonna be honest. I would honestly hate that.
Like, what did you do today,
For me.
Grandpa? Like, what was the exciting point of your day, Grandpa? Getting to the bathroom on time. That was horrible. I'm sorry.
I would hate that. Let me go at 8. Let me go at 88. Let me go at 88.
Now I guess we should move on to. I guess we'll move on to the characters. Let's talk about the characters. We'll start with I guess we'll start with the best character. Vincent Price as Sir Ratigan. Like what we'll get to that. like Sir Ratigan, like you said, is this just the twirling mustache twirling evil villain, and he enjoys it.
Oh, how I love being nasty.
I love villains like that.
Like, and here's the interesting thing. Like, I've mentioned that to you, Decker, that there's this weird Dr. and Jekyll, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde dynamic to him a little bit. But I also noticed upon rewatching this that it also feels like there's this weird social class. Because in Britain, there's this. There really is like a division with social class. You're either high up or you're not, and there's a division there. Like, there's kind of a little bit here, but it's very prominent. And like, I would dare say to go. If I'm wrong, someone please correct me. But I would dare say that like as like the issue, the intensity and issue of racism here. That's the intensity and issue of social class division there. That's my understanding of it. But how this applies to Sir Ratigan, it almost comes across as he's a lower social class wanting to be a higher social class. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it like, and there's
it is
glimpses of that
on
a little bit. Go ahead, Tony.
No. I was just stating that the psychology behind Ratigan is honestly, while it's not like justifiable, it is understandable to the point where you have him being in the lower class, and you see the type of system that he's living upon, and honestly, when you're living in that sort of environment, it does push people to their limits to the point where they want to join the higher class in order to satisfy their needs, which is something that isn't really selfish at all, but at the same time, it's more putting in the position that others will be harmed from your wrongdoing. So in a sense, him being the way he is makes sense, kind of like how all villains are. In a villain, they have something that pushes to their limits where you could find something that you can agree with. They're not just all like, oh, I'm just the bad guy. I'm just doing bad deeds just for the hell of it. No, they're doing it because they have a
chip on their shoulder,
reasoning for their actions. Chips on their shoulders, everything.
And like,
that's how some of the best villains I can think of have.
I actually noticed this in this last time watching it today. Like, it comes across like there's a few, like, again, a lot of that is kind of subtle, but like it's there just enough for you to notice it. Like, Ratigan is not a fan of kids at all. Like, but apparently he's willing to sacrifice his right-hand man's life over the kid's life anyway. Like, he's like he's not afraid to like that when he very much tells the toy maker, like, you do this because I'm going to get your daughter here and I'm going to have her as leverage on you. And pretty much that's exactly what he does, and he does it. And when he gets her, he introduces he shows the toy maker, and he's like, and the way he says it, I think, is what gives it away. He's like, I present to you your charming daughter. and then they embrace a little bit, and like Ratigan's just like, Oh, how sweet! I just love tearful reunions. That kind of stuff. But like at the climax of the movie, when they're trying to get away from the good guys, and like the Fidget, the
first
bat, is trying to pedal the blimp as fast as he can. He's like worn out. He's like, we gotta lose the weight, and like he wants to throw over the little girl. And like just before this, Radigan did everything except did everything to the little girl except just backhand her and to make her let go of his tail. Like, so he is not a fan of kids at all, but he's like, oh, you want to lighten the load, and he just picks up the bat and throws him over. And anyone who's watching or watches this and wonders, like, well, why didn't the bat just fly off? Because he has a crippled wing.
Mm-hmm.
He can't fly. Still, apparently, he has at least one moral code to him.
Either that or he was like he recognized like how important Olivia was as leverage.
Yeah, that also came to my mind too. But I was like, this is quite a conundrum, Disney.
Mm-hmm.
But well, we'll save the clock tower, but like we're not talking about that franchise. The Big Ben series scene a little later. Basil, I love Basil, but in comparison to all the other characters, he's just kind of bland, isn't he? In comparison,
he is kind of one note.
Yeah, he is.
He has a compassionate side to him, and he's entertaining. But it's almost like he's always playing that one note where like he always has to be thinking. He's always on the job, and it's just like everything else is like secondary to him. Like he's not heartless. It's just like he puts the case before anything else.
Now there is one thing that I noticed that kind of annoys me because like really you're gonna let that get to you, but then again one, it's made for kids, so like they have to play on the kids level. And two, we also have to remember this movie is based off the like third or fourth book, so there's no telling how long he's been after this guy. So it just comes across but given as presented in the movie itself, it comes across almost like he's very frazzled and gives up too easily. Does that make sense? Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Like when we first see him, he's like, "I've got him now." Oh, it didn't match, and he just like starts playing his violin in depression.
I guess, like in a sense, I could see like like up to this point, Radican just has been escaping. He's within his grasp. And even Radigan admits that Basil was a thorn on his side, stopped a couple plots, but this time Basil was played by Radigan. What ends up happening is like at first earlier in the movie we find out that Fidget left his list, which would long story short, in a point. Excuse me, hang on.
Oops.
Hold on. I gotta be right back too. I gotta put my clothes in the dryer.
Okay.
I know. I'm sorry. I have an OCD problem.
Y'all are horrible people. It's just you and me, David. It's just you and me.
We'll have to wait here.
Well, basically, I'll pick up where Decker left off, I guess. Basically, what happens is Fidget, the bat, goes and has a list, and he's at this toy shop because he's a bad. He's picking up his the stuff on the list to get to Radigan, which is gears, clothes, and a toy soldier clothes, because that comes to play in the bit later on in the big plan reveal of the movie, and then the good guys crash his party, and as Fidget sees this, he's trying to get away, and he in his haste he drops the list. But I will say this: as much as the bumbling idiot that they portray Fidget to be, he's clever. He's not super smart genius, but he's clever, and I like that because what he does is awesome. He's in this huge toy store essentially, and so he starts winding all the gears, all the switches and all that, and turns on the toys and to distract the good guys, because one of the items on the list is the girl. He has to get the little girl, and he does. And my gosh, like there's 2 jump scares in this movie, right at the beginning and in this scene, and they both belong to Fidget. And I'll admit, he as a little kid, yeah, he scared me.
So I have some
Honestly,
interesting
Victor,
facts
I'm a little
to
bit bad.
talk about. I found some interesting facts about Vincent Price.
Okay.
I can talk about them later if you want.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So Vincent Price, he played Edgar Allan Poe in a episode of Tiny Toons, episode How Sweet It Is. That's the episode title. He also appeared in some episodes of some of my favorite shows. Get Smart.
What a perfect casting.
Let's see. The Brady Bunch, Columbo.
I didn't know that.
Also,
Neither
let's
did
see.
I. And I watched the Brady Bunch.
Also,
Oh,
Columbo and F Troop. He also
Yes,
played
sorry,
the.
I hated the show, but
Mhm.
You're okay, Decker.
No, it's without going into like too much details. Someone was just. It might have been. It could have been an emergency, but thankfully it wasn't. And I was the only person available, like on the phone or whatever. Don't worry, we can edit it. I'll edit it in post, or we can edit it in post.
Family is important.
Yep.
So about Vincent Price, he also played the Indian chief in Peter Pan.
Ooh.
Oh wow!
don't when you were out, my OCD got to me.
No, wait.
My
Wait a minute.
OCD got to me, and I had to put the drop.
What?
Oh wait, actually, I think it was either him or this voice actor named Candy. Oh yeah, actually, it was. I read about the Indian chief.
Yeah, because I seem to remember Vincent saying that this is before Radigan. He was never offered a part in Disney before.
Yeah. Yep, Candy.
That's interesting.
He played the Indian chief in Peter Pan, and he also played the angry apple tree in Wizard of Oz.
Really?
I can kind of see that now. What are you doing?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so do you want to continue where you left off, Decker? About Fidget in the list.
Oh yeah, Fidget in the list. Yeah, thank you for reminding me, like where I was.
Yes, sir.
So basically, Fidget was earlier in the movie. Fidget was like supposed to get some supplies, and he had a list with him. Even though he got away, and even though Basil like already had a suspicion that Fidget was involved, Radigan didn't like the idea that he left evidence behind. He left clues that can actually show what the plan is, and so like he almost like he throws him to Felicia, the big cat.
A pet cat. Radigan has a pet cat that he feeds his minions to when they anger him.
Mm-hmm. Especially if you call
and he doesn't like being called a rat either.
Oh, fun! This could have been saved for trivia. While he is a rat in the movie, he's actually a mouse. Oh no! Wait, you told me that. You told us that.
Yeah, like
all right, we'll save that for trivia.
They also did that with the clash within himself a little bit. Like in the books, he's a mouse, but in the Disney movie, he's actually a rat. So like they played with that a little bit, and it works. So it's just really
I don't want to like stop you too soon. Like let's try to say that for like the trivia so we can go more in depth.
Yeah, and
I'll finish my thought about what happened to Fidget. So anyway, like Fidget like says something that would basically he saves himself at the last second. Radigan tells Felicia to let him go, and he has Fidget help with like one last plan. In other words, he let himself get followed, like at the bar. He let himself get followed by Basil and everyone and everybody, and lead him into the trap. Mm-hmm. And so that's the point I was trying to get at earlier when I could it's kind of like if you think about the context, like it kind of makes sense that Basil was like the reason he was like shocked like that was because like this time he was played.
Yes.
Radigan knew for a fact that he was coming, and like that never happened before. It's still silly, like if you're just basing it off the movie. But if you know the context of the books and like the history that Radigan and Basil had, it's like slightly more understandable.
Yes, especially if you're able to like even if you haven't read the books, but you're able to like read the subtext in there. You're able to pick up on it.
So it's a combination of like, I actually got played.
It gives a
but at the same time, that was his. At the same time, he's like vain. I mean, at the same time, Basil is like kind of vain.
Yeah.
Not in the sense that he's better than others, but he puts himself on such a high pedestal in terms of his skill. He's just like how I've been duped, and by something so obvious.
Yeah, and that's like and apparently they do that. They've been doing that with each other. Is that they try to outsmart each other, and they to the point where like at least on Radigan's end, he's turned it into a competition. And I just want to say that in the final fight scene, I just realized, and I just realized, Radigan is like 3 times the size of Basil. Like all he had to do, like if he really wanted to, he could break Basil's back Bane style. That's really all he would have to do.
Do you know what Radigan looks like? Hey, Victor, do you know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of a JoJo character. Like, he's so buff for, like, no apparent reason. He looks like he's on steroids.
Oh, my gosh. So, talk about Toby. You want to talk about Toby. Talk about Toby.
The fight was amazing.
That's it.
My Now, this is some biased because I am a dog person, but let me just say, out of all the Disney dogs or Disney companions, Toby is honestly one of the best, for my opinion, of course. Like Toby, the stuff that he was to do, and I know he's not particularly what you would call a main character, more of a support rather than a main. You can't deny that. From do his role, you gotta mind this. that title meant you shows that he lived up to what he was entitled to, because in order to be Sherlock Holmes's dog, that comes with great honor. And from what I saw, Toby, he lived up to his name. Well, I think he did.
And the interesting thing
That's
is
just
like,
how that's just
that,
my
like,
thoughts
okay,
on them.
so
And
tell
plus,
me,
since
did
I'm a
y'all
dog
notice
lover,
this? Like, okay, did y'all notice this? I actually noticed this time around too. Apparently, and okay, Basil lives underneath his home. His mouse home is inside of Sherlock's home.
The
And
home of Sherlock Holmes.
and the Queen Mouse lives inside Buckingham Palace. So the toy maker is essentially the key character that brings everyone together. Is it safe to assume that that toy shop that they find the fidget in, the toy maker's house, essentially, that his house is inside the toy shop?
Yeah, it makes sense. Or at least on the other
That's
side.
interesting.
Mhm.
I would actually say so, because when you say it like that, it does make plenty of sense.
And I actually noticed that this time. I was like, wow, how did I not notice that before? And so should we give, like, I guess what, like, we're at kind of at that point where we should give the big reveal of Radigan's plan. So
Oh wait, I'm sorry. I did want to talk about Dawson, if that's all right.
Go ahead. Yes.
I really appreciate how Dawson, he's like in the situation where like he doesn't understand. I mean, not understand isn't like the right word. He basically stumbles upon like the situation. Like he finds Olivia out in the rain, and like he's just trying to get her to, like, he finds out that she wants to find Basil. So he says the least I can do is escort her. And then he's trying to, I mean, and he's not expecting to like get wrapped up in this big old case with Basil of Baker Street, trying to help with a kidnapping case. But he's still gives it his all. And like even if he doesn't understand like the whole plan, he's still he doesn't have bake anything. And I also appreciate how like the first time when Olivia got kidnapped, like he took it hard because
Yes, he did.
He felt like responsible for letting her get away. And he also plays a big role like when Basil.
Loses
I
his
just
confidence.
noticed this too. I just noticed this too. Like during that part when Basil was like about to berate Dawson, but he saw like he's taking it hard, and he assures her that Basil assures Dawson that, hey, we're gonna get her back. So like in that later in the same movie, after like they're both trapped by Radigan, Dawson ends up Dawson ends up returning the favor by helping Basil get his act back together. Saying like, don't just like, if anyone can guess out the situation, like it's you, Basil. Like you're not the kind of guy who would just mope around over one little loss.
And like to the point, he says like, and if you don't like it, you might as well just set off the trap now. And then Basil gets like, he's like, set off the trap now. Well, set off the trap now. And that look he gets is that look when it's like when that I get that look. I was like, like that's the look whenever I see one of my wipers. Like,
it's also like if you notice, like Radigan has a couple of those, but when Basil does it, it's like a subtle. There's like a big old difference. Well, I think it's big difference. Like when they both get the crazy looks, Radigan is always like red irises. Basil's was green.
Yes.
So it's like like his was like it like shows how oh wait, this is a brilliant moment, and he's almost like driven crazy by that's the solution.
like I don't know if y'all ever watched House, but it's like that look, like not really, but it could be the equivalent to of that House, of like that look of like House would get in any given episode of like realization on his face.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, and I won't get into politics, like for lack of a better word, religious politics on that. But like back in the day, me and my folks would watch that show, and we loved it. But we're not going to talk about that.
House, MD. I used to watch that too.
Yes, it was a fun show.
That and Bones. I liked Bones.
Yes, Bones was good. I liked Bones.
I love Bones.
I actually think David Boreanaz, I think is how you say his name, would play could play a good live action Chris Redfield. In my opinion, I think he could. Right. Moving on.
Okay,
we can talk about that some other time.
You want to talk about the big reveal?
Yes.
Mind if I talk about some other trivia, either before the big reveal or after?
We'll save the trivia after the big reveal.
Sure.
The master plan.
The master plan is the reason.
The master plan.
The reason he stole the toy maker is because he's having the toy maker create a life-size toy replica of the Queen so they can make it look like the Queen is putting Radigan in charge, and they plan on feeding the Queen to Radigan's cat.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, like they got all kinds of levers. They even have like a little system where the speaker like says whatever line they want, and it comes out sounding just like the Queen's voice.
And that's why Fidget was at the toy shop stealing gears and soldier clothes to have the henchmen dress up as the royal soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
And it works.
Yep, they sneak in, act like they're soldiers, and then kidnap the Queen.
And I want to say, like, when they get Radigan, like, okay, we're gonna blow y'all's mind because I don't think hardly anyone notices. Because, okay, the big climax of the movie takes place inside of Big Ben. They crash into the inside of Big Ben. How? Because remember, Radigan is on that little blimp, and the good guys essentially just put a bunch of balloons and a matchbox and attached to a flag to chase after it.
Mm-hmm.
I know,
they even use a separate balloon, like they let the air out to like get a boost of speed.
Yeah. And so basically, Olivia, Radigan, and Basil wind up inside of Big Ben on a gear, and with all the gears. Here's the cool part: the gears are the earliest form of CGI, and it was done.
Really?
It doesn't clash. It actually meshes real well. It's CGI gears with hand-drawn characters inside it, on top of it. And how they made it is they had this program, and they had an actual robotic hand draw it out with an actual pin, and they fed it through a computer and all that. It was really, really cool because you, just by looking, unless you're like a technical person or whatever, and you know the ins and outs, you wouldn't be able to tell at all. And I'm like, how is it that a 35-year-old movie has better CGI than what we do now?
I know. That's just sad.
Going back to like you wouldn't notice certain
Honestly,
like you may or may
I
not
just
notice
want to
it.
compliment on the fight. That fight was
Yes. Like, okay, we'll talk about the fight,
Yeah.
but before we do, what were you gonna say, Decker?
Okay. Like like adding to what you said, like unless you like you know how like say animation is done, like different techniques. The only time, I mean, I even knew like before rewatching it, like before we were doing this podcast or stream, I knew that the clock tower was done in 3D, like CGI. But other than like say the first scene where you see Basil on the gears looking around, that's the only time you can that's like kind of obvious that they're different animations. But the rest of the time, it is natural.
Yeah.
You can't even as
Like-
someone who like kind of has an idea of how animation is done. I couldn't tell the difference.
No, it's amazing. And okay, so the
I
fight.
couldn't either. Like I'm looking at this fight.
Like you can't tell.
This fight is phenomenal. I love this.
Like, okay, this fight. Okay, so Radigan, like Basil's kind of looking all around, and Radigan's sneaking up behind him, and with Olivia like this, and she, and even to this day, like when I watched it as a little kid, and even to this day, when she bites him and he yells, it sounds like he yells "mine." That's what it sounds like. Am I wrong? Like it just whatever. But so he backhands Basil, and
Oh wait, don't
and,
forget his. Oh wait, go ahead.
Like he backhands Basil, and I forget exactly how, but Olivia winds up inside one of the gears and is going to get crushed by the other gear, and Basil gets up, forces Radigan's Kate inside of another a gear behind him, goes on a chain, and it's pulling him up, and he rescues Olivia, and they run outside of onto the big bins where they crashed, and getting to Olivia to safety. And while that's happening, the best part of the movie, Radigan's like, and Hulk's out. Like Hulkamania has been unleashed.
I know.
Like,
his
and that's
eyes,
this is where the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing, and like the social class kind of thing really comes into play. Like we've had subtle hints of it, but like he's like shedding off the facade. Like even like, okay, you know how a lot of cartoon rats will have that like the hair animation just kind of like in kind of frazzle and all that. They do that with shreds of his clothes, and like he's running through the gears, and the camera like the camera was like going all around following him, and he basically spears Basil off of the thing, and like he actually like they land on Big Ben's clock hands, but Radigan shifts his weight so that
Basil breaks his fall.
He takes the blunt of the force of the fall. I'm like, Basil is like not like less than half the size of Radigan. Radigan is like 3 times the size of Basil. Basil's a freaking toothpick, and like not only is he falling like I don't know how many feet, he's also having someone 3 times the size of him land directly on him, and he gets up fine. And like there's this fight on I remember as a little kid seeming to be like really intense on this scene, but they fight a little. Basil gets knocked off the hands, but he's hanging on to the pedals of the blimp that they crashed into, and he rings his because what Radigan would do to summon the cat was ring a little bell. So Basil has his Ratigan's bell. We don't know how he got it. Freaking ninja. And he rings the bell. Big Ben's gong goes off and knocks Ratigan off, but he grabs Basil's feet and like they plummet to the ground. But just as all hope was lost, Basil is pedaling on those pedals with the propeller and hovering and coming back up and hovering. So like the day is saved.
Like going back to
honestly, Victor, there is a theory that Ratigan survived that fall.
Are you serious?
I don't know.
Well, people will make a theory about it. Huh? You don't think it's possible?
No, it's not that. I haven't heard the theory, but in like the comic, the adaptation that was made in Germany, he did survive. Like despite falling from that, he's like, "Curse you, Basil, the Baker Street."
I didn't even know that was a thing. My gosh.
The comic even has like, I mean, I just stumbled upon it. I wasn't like looking for it. Like I was just looking. I guess I was looking up more info on Great Mouse Detective, and there even has like some scenes where that were like say they were like cut from the movie, or like they weren't able to fit it in, but they like showed it in the comic. Like there's a scene where like I don't need like in the there's a scene where you know how like when they get back home, Basil takes that bell and like has it as a trophy now.
Mm-hmm.
There's like another part where he took Ratigan's his painting, and puts it in the fireplace because like it's done.
That's funny.
And not only that,
Wow.
there's like an earlier scene in the movie, you know, like that violin that Basil liked to play. You know, somehow it like accidentally gets broken. Well, it was planned in the movie, but they actually show it like in the little comic adaptation as a thank you. They got him a brand new violin.
Oh wow.
Yep.
That's awesome. Okay.
Hey, guys, could Victor, if Ratigan were to survive in the movie and he arrived the sequel, would you watch? Yes or no?
Unless they got an actor that really blew it out of the park, I don't think so, because you can't top Vincent Price. That's one of the reasons I got so mad when I found out that they are trying to plan a remake. And I don't know if it's going through, but they're trying. I'm like, you can't replace Vincent Price.
What about if Hugh Jackman? What about Hugh Jackman playing him?
I don't think so. Like, I love Hugh Jackman. Anyone who knows me, I'm obviously a Wolverine fan, but like, I don't think even Hugh Jackman could top Vincent Price.
Honestly, I kind of want to see Hugh Jackman play a version of Sherlock Holmes.
You know, that would actually be really cool.
Because like he has a pretty good range of characters that he has played.
Yeah.
From Barnum, from the the Greatest Show. He's played a
hacker in Swordfish. He played a romance in a romance Western movie in Australia called Australia. He played, well, obviously Wolverine, and I think he'll always be remembered for Wolverine. But there's he also played Jean Valjean in what is that movie?
Les Miserables.
Yes, and I went into that movie not knowing it was a musical. And I hate musicals. I hate them. But like, well, why do you? Well, then
I
why do
do-
you like Disney?
Well,
Shut up.
it depends on what
that's
music.
not the conversation. But it's not. It wasn't even so much like that. It was like even musicals have talking segments. This movie, I kid you not, I wouldn't be surprised if there was one full sentence actually spoken in the whole movie, and not in a complete sentence. The rest is complete singing. I'm like me and like at the time I was with my girlfriend, and me and her friends went to go see it. Okay, fine. About 30 minutes into the movie, I turned to the person that chose the movie. I'm like, this is the last time you pick a movie for us. Okay.
Sorry.
David.
One last thing. Don't worry, it's like real quick. Like based up, like obviously no one could adding to that comments where no one could replace Vincent Price. Like that is true, but I've heard at least one like pretty good voice actor. You've heard of Maurice LaMarche? Like he's the guy who plays Brain and Pinky and the Brain. He plays like a bunch of characters in Futurama.
He might be able to. He might be able to hold a candle.
Oh,
at least for the animated Vincent Prices, like he's done like pretty good. Like he played like a little cameo, like in Scooby Doo Mystery Inc. There's like Scooby and Shaggy are watching like an old Vincent Price movie, and Maurice LaMarche voiced him, and he even like he reprised the role in like that movie based on Scooby Doo and the 13 Ghosts.
I heard of that. Okay, yeah, I would. Okay, if he did it, I would be okay with it.
Again, that's just animated Vincent Price.
Yes. Now
so I don't know about live action.
David, you had trivia for
I'm
us?
sorry, when anyone says Scooby Doo, 13 Ghosts of Scooby Doo was the best for me. Was the best series for me.
Well, you like horror stuff, dude.
It's underappreciated.
Yeah, it definitely
that the original. I know people don't give it enough respect that it deserves. Or I don't think they give it any respect.
Like
I just really liked it.
The original Scooby Doo.
I gotta check out the 13 Ghosts of
Scooby Doo and a pup named Scooby Doo. Those are my favorites. Okay, David, you had trivia for us?
Yes, I do. I was looking through the roles and stuff. Frank Welker, he's still alive, of course. He's the guy that played Megatron in Transformers.
Yes.
He's Freddy.
And various others. Yep.
He's Freddy and Scooby Doo, like the most reprisals of him.
Yep. Currently, Fred from Scooby Doo, and also he also plays Scooby Doo, I believe, right?
Oh yeah, he's the current voice.
Yep. And apparently, there's a singer that appeared in The Great Mouse Detective. Her name's Melissa Manchester, some pop singer. I never heard of her.
If I remember right, she's the one that was. I don't know. I know those kind of singers have a name, but like she's the one that sang that song at the Underbelly bar.
Like a showgirl,
I think. There you go. Yeah.
Isn't she Mouse Kitty? Isn't she Mouse Kitty or something? Wasn't that her name?
Miss
Mouse
Kitty
Kitty.
Mouse.
I don't know.
That's her name.
Wait, let me check up.
Did she have her name?
It says here Miss Kitty Mouse.
Miss Kitty Mouse.
Okay.
It says here her character's popular in The Great Mouse Detective.
Mm-hmm.
She's popular? Well,
in the universe.
She's a cute little mouse.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I gotta listen to that song later on.
Okay. Here's a trivia for you. When Professor Ratigan proclaims himself the supreme ruler of all mousedom, and his headquarters.
Here's a cosplay.
One of the followers. Show that again? I didn't see it.
Someone made a cosplay
Oh
Oh,
my
wow.
gosh, I have to meet this person now.
Cool.
But how is it that people are able to make something
Instagram
that you
model.
wouldn't find hot? It's
And,
just like that's going to be my catchphrase. That's hot. It's kind of already is. Okay, so when Professor Radigan,
Look at that.
oh my gosh,
She even has the shoes.
Oh, wow.
Tony, can you give me your phone and give me about 5 minutes alone with it?
She even has the heels.
you have your own phone, dude.
No time to make kissy faces.
I can send you the photos after we're done with this. I can send you the photos. Not like that. Not like no. For viewers who are watching, we're not like that.
Okay, anyone who's watching, I love making jokes like that because I just love making jokes that make people go like,
It's true. Like they're all tame, but every once in a while, like you sly.
"Now, okay." You know that scene in the movie where Radigan is at his like right before he sings his first song, and and they're lighting his cigarette. It says one of the followers lighting the cigarette has Mickey Mouse shaped cufflinks. I never noticed that.
Yeah, me
Hush,
neither.
Thor.
Interesting.
Okay, this
Yeah,
one
there's
says
a bunch of symbolic stuff, with like Mickey Mouse's ears and whatnot.
now this says revealing mistake. Okay, when Radigan is sneaking up on Basil inside Big Ben, there's a shot where both characters have their backs to the camera. In this shot, there is a piece of equipment directly in front of the turning gear they are standing on. This piece of metal can be seen to flicker for a few moments. I never noticed that. Interesting. Yeah, very interesting.
Oh,
Oh,
I do have like what going back to going back to like Radigan's hideout. Like it's in the song, but like also like the regular like when they're just like talking and all that. What you'll know, it's like this is like adding to that the little Mickey Mouse Easter egg. You'll notice that if you watched a lot of Disney classics, you'll notice that one of the henchmen of Radigan is the same model as Bill the Lizard from
yes.
to Wonderland, specifically the lizard with the ladder.
This is interesting. Okay, so Vincent Price called Radigan his favorite film role, and was especially thrilled to have 2 songs written specifically for him.
Oh,
Oh, I
cool.
didn't know the second one was specifically for him.
Yeah, like he's saying "The World's Greatest Criminal Mind" and then "Goodbye, So Long, Farewell."
At first, okay, like when I was rewatching it, at first I thought like, oh, he has a second song, but then like when you listen to the credits, you know how sometimes sometimes songs will have like oh no wait, they did something. What ended up happening was it was similar to what they did with Lady and the Tramp and the song Better Notte. At first, it's the chefs that sing it.
Oh yeah, I love
But then
that
later,
song.
it's like a live.
Yeah, it was.
It's a vocal group. So
Interesting.
that's what happened with the Radigan song. First, it was just Radigan, but then like when you hear the credits, you see like the little vocals. I mean, you hear the vocal group afterwards.
Okay. The one that plays Basil, Barry Ingham. He played someone in a Doctor Who movie from 1965, Doctor Who and the Daleks. He played some
That's
character.
that's what the second Doctor, isn't it?
Well, this is the movie from 1965, which not from the TV series. So
Okay.
yeah, he was like second in a way, sort of. And also, he appeared in the Doctor Who series in one serial called The Myth Makers. He played Paris. Interesting.
Mhm.
Oh, that's a story that takes place in Troy, I guess, because it shows Paris, also known as Alexander, the son of King Priam and Queen Hecuba of Troy. Interesting.
Oh, hey, we can edit. We can like edit this in post because this is going back a few topics. I realize. Da, 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 da. Like, okay, you might. This goes back to the topic of if not racism, definitely difference in classes. There's like a couple scenes where like you could tell like the mice are like say they're like the majority while like while the other animal characters are like the minorities basically.
Yes.
One is more obvious than the other. Like say during the like when they're at the underbelly bar, right before Kitty Mouse shows up to do her show. There's like a bunch of other like other acts trying to like entertain the crowd. One's like an octopus trying to like juggle.
Get
And,
off the stage, you bum.
Yeah. To be fair, he lasted a decent while before being booed off. And I think I can't remember what the other ones were. I think there were two lizards. But yeah, they were booed off immediately.
Yeah, immediately. So it's just like, okay, apparently we're racist to lizards.
Mhm. And going with Radigan, like this is definitely where the class comparison comes in. But it's also like, wait, if this is about class, why is he being so like callous to the people that he used to be? Again, like maybe it's explained more in the book. But yeah,
know.
like
It definitely, like, that's why I feel like he has this weird thing of he's a lesser class wanting to be in the higher class, and so he's just ashamed of his original class. You know what I mean? Like he resents it.
And like yeah, resenting it. The where he shows this is like when right after he gets the fake queen to make him in charge. He has like a big old list of things they want to do, and one of the big things was attacks on like people that were concerned, like the dead weight class.
Like he said, elderly, the infirmed, and the children. I'm like, okay, the first two I kind of get, but why kids? That goes into what I was saying earlier. He doesn't like kids.
Yeah, like I said, this could be, as I said, this could be edited in post. But I didn't want it to go unsaid.
Right.
So, like, I know we're still in trivia. Is there anything else?
I got some other actors.
Okay.
So Val Benton, he played the Sultan in the direct-to-video sequels and the TV series for Aladdin.
Oh,
neat.
Yeah.
Oh. That's
he's always a good character.
Episodes for some other Disney cartoons. I won't list them here, but you guys can go look it up later on.
That's very interesting.
Alan Young
Aladdin had a TV.
Yep. Yep. There was an Aladdin TV series.
I remember it. I remember that the Aladdin TV series and Hercules TV series had a crossover episode.
Timon and Pumbaa did. Oh, and there's the Lion Guard, which is actually pretty decent.
Know that.
Speaking of the Lion Guard, apparently the current voice of Donald Duck he appeared in this movie as well. Tony,
Tony.
yeah, Tony, and Selmo.
Oh yeah, yes. Along with Wayne Allwine, the '80s Mickey Mouse.
Wow.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Tony
He was one of.
Todd.
Who did they play in this? I had no
Oh,
idea.
They played
were
the
like-
thugs.
They were thugs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I had no idea.
Oh, and I didn't notice this until later. Hiram Flaversham, Olivia's father,
Yes.
he was voiced by Alan Young, Scrooge McDuck.
Yep, that too.
Oh my
Alan
gosh,
Young
you're
also
right.
appeared in
I totally hear it.
Wilbur. I mean, he appeared in Mr. Ed. He played Wilbur and Mr. Ed.
Horses, of course, unless, of course, the
Wilbur.
horse is the famous Mr. Ed.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Okay.
There's some.
So-
I have someone else.
Okay.
Two more people that I'd like to talk about.
Okay.
Love the big wizard Mickey, Tony.
There's
Or Uzumaki.
there's someone named Basil Rathbone.
Oh,
He played some kings, and also his most famous role is, of course, Sherlock Holmes. He played Sir Guy in Robin Hood, and also King Louis in If I Were King. He also played Richard, Duke of, I'm not going to butcher it, but someone that was King of England and Lord of Ireland in the movie Tower of London.
yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Victor mentioned it already. But yeah, like Basil Rathbone, who played Sherlock Holmes, he's the namesake of Basil of Baker Street.
Cool. And last but not least, there's Lori Main. An
Lori
actor
Main.
from a guy from Australia.
And he was Dr. Watson.
He was also
the
best known
original
for hosting
Watson.
and narrating the children's series Welcome to Pooh Corner, live action puppet series. Oh, I remember the whole puppets. I think they aired some reruns later on.
Who Corner, as in like Dr. Seuss Who's?
No, Welcome to Pooh Corner,
Oh, okay.
as in like Winnie the Pooh.
Okay, I remember that now.
I think I've seen some reruns. No, wait, I'm thinking of the Book of Pooh. I think they added some puppets too.
Yeah.
Let's see. Other roles for Laurie Main. My bad.
Mhm.
He appeared in some other shows, mostly in episodes. I don't think he had any other like roles in a TV series. Paddington Bear, 1989 to 1990. Doesn't say what characters he played. Yeah. Little House on the Prairie. He appeared in a episode, just one. Also appeared in Wagon Train in one episode.
Oh, that's cool.
And also there's a retired actor from The Great Mouse Detective that's still alive. Which one was it? I saw it on here. Oh yeah. It was Val Ben. He's retired and he's still alive. So there's 3 people that are still alive. There's also some
Oh,
voice
wow.
actors, some voice actresses that are listed on the cast for the Great Master Detective. There's no links for them, but there's probably some information on the IMDb.
Mhm.
So, anyways, that's all I have to say.
Mhm. Thank you, David.
You're welcome.
I meant to
Thanks,
say this
David.
when we were talking.
Good
Mhm.
information and everything.
You're welcome.
I meant to say this earlier when we were talking about Frank Welker. Man, for I'm still amazed how he has plenty of like characters where he has like different voices, but for a lot of animated movies, if there's an animal that's a main character, he probably voiced it.
Yeah.
He was Toby in this movie. He was Altivo in Road to El Dorado.
He played the
And,
monkey from Aladdin.
Oh, yeah, he was a Boo
Yeah,
in the
Boo.
movie and in the TV series, I believe.
Yep.
And
Also, Curious George.
George, what?
Curious George.
Oh, Curious George.
Yep.
Like nowadays, or
Yeah, I think nowadays.
But yeah, it's like
Speed
like-
Buggy. Jabberjaw.
He played Jabberjaw a couple times.
Yeah.
Neat.
Wow.
Like he does a good what is it? I mean, come on, I know his name. He does a good Curly Howard. You know, from the Three Stooges.
Yeah.
This
He
could be
also
a
played
top.
Garfield.
Oh, Garfield?
Yep.
Oh, neat.
I didn't know he played Garfield. Garfield. Trying to say it in an Italian way. Garfield.
But he wasn't the one in the original cartoon. I guess it was like future versions, like the 3D, like the CGI movies or 3D movies. Some of them were decent.
Oh yeah,
Some are better
I hated
than others.
those movies.
But I do like the concept of.
I watched them
like
on
the comic book
Cartoon
world.
Network.
Mm-hmm. Apologies to any viewers who are watching this the raw footage. Our host had to.
This is the wait, Saban. Let's just say that this is the uncut.
Huh? Say this uncut.
This is the
Okay.
This is the uncut. Yeah, this is the uncut version that they're watching right now. This is the cut. I'm sorry.
I'm back. What's going on?
There's no blood in here, so this is
okay. The director's. Oh my God! Take that underwear off right now, Mister.
Is that?
I'm sorry. I got really into Nitro Rad for a second.
Young man, I hope you wash those undies. Oh God, I'm starting to get dad vibes. What is wrong with
you? Man, you're right. You're
Nitro
right.
Rad's a bad influence on me. I always try to see I always love making people laugh, but if I can make them laugh just out of on the unexpected, that's yes.
Hey,
I wish these were boxers instead, but I don't have boxers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, never mind. Thor.
Oh God.
Jeez. Hey, don't just so Victor doesn't share all the shame. I actually did it obviously okay, like when I did this joke,
Aw,
obviously I didn't
Halo
like take
door.
off my. Okay, like there was a. Okay. Like okay, apologies. I need to give some context. I did a reaction video to where I forget his name. It might be linked in the video, might not be. Basically, there's I was reacting to a video where someone took like clips from the Deadpool movie and put like Jacksepticeye's voice on top of them.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. And like it worked surprisingly well. And there was like he even did one where Mark was Iron Man, Markiplier.
Oh my gosh.
Well, anyway.
I can actually picture that.
Well, the reason I bring that up is because, like in the you know how the Deadpool movie, one of the reasons it came to be was because of that like released beta footage that like even had Ryan Reynolds dub it, and one of the jokes was like say, "Oh, hello there. I bet you're wondering why I had the red suit. Less so bad guys can't see me bleed." Well, I had my own version of the joke. Like I had a red shirt, and then I had like a little joke where like, "Oh, I see like bad guys being chased by cops," and like like I do my version of let's see if these guys are wearing their brown pants, and I had like some like I had some like briefs. They were clean. They were new. They were like what's the word? They were a surplus from the military. They were brown briefs. And I was like, I have no regrets showing these to you people. And like, I even like flung it off screen by pulling the elastic.
Like, okay, that whole joke just now was I can't remember what Nacho Red was reviewing, but like it was Rayman. It was one of the Rayman games, and like the joke was because the options menu for like what language you wanted to be in is just underwear on a clothesline, but the underwear has the country's designs on, and so it just cuts to Rayman. It just cuts to Nitro Red with boxers on his head. I was like, genius.
This could be like bloopers or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Like, okay, later on, you're gonna have to show me how.
Victor, I know what version this is because this is the director's cut.
Like if you want the original thing as it originally was.
Yeah. Oh my gosh! Like so later on, you're gonna whether it be tomorrow or during the week or something, you'll have to show me how to I guess over Discord like this or whatever, and show me how to like send this to you because this is on YouTube as we're doing it.
Yep.
So
yeah, like it'll probably like it may not be tomorrow because like I already have like a game plan for that, but definitely in the week. The week.
Okay. Now,
you won't believe this.
Okay.
Alan Young appeared in a anime with Casey Kasem from the 70s. Guess which anime? This anime has been dubbed so many times, and it went under different names. One during the 70s, and another during the 90s. That featured Barbara Goodson in that anime for that dub in the 90s.
Can we get a hint?
That's Evangelion, but I know that's not right.
Okay, so it's a
Speed Racer.
The first dub featured
Speed Racer.
Some characters that were not originally featured in the series until it made its way to America. It featured a Star Wars-like character in a way, as in the droid.
Okay, I was going to say Transformers, That's not it.
That's the name of the character.
Wait, what's the name of the character?
The droid is
Oh, the
called
droid.
Seven Zark 7.
What's the anime? I'm curious. I want to know.
I give up.
Like,
I give up.
Battle of the Planets.
Oh,
AKA Gatchaman, AKA G-Force.
Oh, Science Team Gatchaman?
Yeah, Gatchaman.
Yeah, that had a
Is
bunch
it-
of names.
okay,
Is it
Gachimon.
Is it a Gundam series?
No,
What's
it's
Sci-fi
Gatchaman?
series.
And it
I know the name. I can't
Never heard
picture
sci-fi
the show
and,
though. Which one is Gachimon?
the main
You wanna-
character is like Ken the Eagle.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about now. Yes. I know exactly what. Okay.
Like-
Wow.
They're
I
like
knew the
Bird
name.
Team Super Sentai.
let me
I knew the name.
let me look up
Yeah.
the
Was familiar.
let me look
I
up
saw
my
that when I
anime
was
list.
a small kid. Oh my.
My anime. I never
Oh my gosh.
So
Like-
Alan Young and Casey Kasem were in a version of like a Science Team Gatchaman or Battle of the Planets, was it?
Yep.
Yeah, that
What
had like
exactly was that
names.
show about? All I remember them is they were Power Rangers, but modeled after uh
different kinds of birds.
yeah, like my favorite was was it Keith? I think it was Keith the Hawk, and he was essentially the sharpshooter. I remember him because he was in all dark clothes. Oh my gosh, I remember that.
I gotta check what
That's
anime.
freaking
I
awesome.
wonder if Frank Welker, was he ever in any anime?
I'm sure he was. Oh, that reminds me. Okay, we might be aware of how Transformers. I think it was originally based in Japan, or it was a joint effort with America.
I don't remember. I just
Yeah.
I know.
Well, okay.
I don't know.
I guess the reason I thought that was because I've seen a couple like Transformers.
never seen
Like
this anime before.
I've seen like a couple promotions for Transformers, and like a lot of the text was Japanese.
What was that about Transformers?
Well, I
my
know
mom,
the original was
was-
very much.
Oh,
My mom
I
wanted
think
me.
the original was very much American. I think.
Mhm.
I could
Yeah,
be
the
wrong.
original was very much American.
Okay.
It was inspired by the toys, and so the guys that made this show decided,
video.
hey, let's
I think video-
pick out some characters, some toys
Mm-hmm.
from Takara.
Well,
You get the gist.
If
Yeah. Anyway, what I was trying to say was,
I remember correctly,
go ahead, Tony.
If I remember correctly, Transformers was somewhat like on.
Sorry, you're cutting
I was
out.
just saying that I think Transformers was somewhat inspired by them. If I remember correctly.
Like inspired by
That's how it went.
I know
The toys came
I
first.
remember.
Can't
Yeah,
remember
Yeah,
what
the
it
toys
was.
like
came first,
the toys
and-
came first, and then the show. That was
Yeah.
essentially how the Ninja Turtles came
Yeah.
about too.
And essentially, I guess Transformers is somewhat of an anime.
It definitely became one.
I mean, like
Well, the
Toei,
comic book,
they,
the comic book too.
There was
I
a
think Toei,
Transformers
they
Well,
helped
knockoff
animate
that I used to have
Well,
on
Protein.
VHS. I cannot remember what it was called, but I remember the Optimus Prime of that group was called Leader One, and he was turned into
Yeah,
a
Leader One.
jet fighter.
Oh yeah,
And
Oh,
I
Okay.
guess you could say the Krillin of the group was I think he turned into basically a scooter.
It's like donut on like a scooter and Krillin. Like they may not seem like much, but you'd be surprised what they can accomplish.
Yeah, well, Krillin was better than this dude.
Anyway,
Oh.
the reason I was go ahead, Tony. I mean, go ahead, Victor.
Well,
Krillin's
well,
a
I was
laughing
actually
stock.
like,
If
go ahead,
anyone's
because I was
laughing
going to
stock,
ask what do y'all want to do for
Yeah.
next time, and when would
Okay.
y'all want to be next time?
No, I'm just saying,
All
if anyone deserves to be laughed, it's
I'm trying
maybe
under
some
Krillin.
other movie.
Like, Yeah.
What is one movie that we've all seen? We can really,
Well, like, okay, so
yeah.
you and me, you and Tony and me have talked about like we want to eventually do Joker on here,
Okay.
and that would be good.
Okay.
I just have
Guys
to
wanna say
prepare myself
We need more
because it's rough.
practice. We need more practice before we do
Yeah.
Joker.
Yeah, and like, so like, here's the thing. Like, I really want to do. Man,
Yeah.
that's weird with the camera. Blade Runner, at some point. At some
Right.
point. Like, I'd like
Oh,
to
yeah.
do Blade Runner.
I'm completely fine with it. I watched a movie ago.
Say what?
All time now.
Okay. Me and Decker were talking
Blade
one time.
Runner.
Like, talking about Ocarina of Time would be pretty good on here, because I know that game out inside and out.
Mhm.
Like, I know it like the back of my hand. Hey, that's new.
Yeah.
Hey.
Again, magic
Oh.
of editing, but we'll keep it in the uncut version or the
You guys ever
uncut
seen?
thing.
What about Man of Steel?
Yes, we can
Oh,
do Man
yeah.
of Steel.
Mhm.
Do I still even have that movie? I think I do. I think. Maybe?
Man of Steel, baby.
Yeah. Oh, before I forget, the reason I was bringing it
That
up
was-
like was
It's the
Transformers
only
like Japanese.
Superman movie ever.
Anyway, what I was trying to say earlier, like, was Transformers based on
No,
something
I'm just-
Japanese?
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Just
Oh.
man, the delays on like all these feeds. It's crazy.
We could, if y'all wanted to, we could talk about the good Resident Evil movies. And you're like, what good Resident Evil movies? The CGI ones.
Yeah.
Those
I
were the
would.
good
I haven't
ones.
seen them
Wanna
yet.
know?
Okay.
I found
there's-
some anime that Frank Welker appeared in. He appeared
Okay.
in mostly the Studio Ghibli movies. He appeared in My Neighbor Totoro. He played Totoro.
I knew it. I knew you were gonna say that.
Yep. He also appeared in Nausicaa of the Valley of the Sky.
Never watched
I mean, of the Wind.
and dub.
Bad.
I only watched it in sub.
Also,
Uh,
Porco
oh.
Rosso.
I thought that was Valley of the Wind.
So,
Yeah,
It is.
Valley of the Wind.
Don't show.
All right, I'll just finish my thought and then I'll let you guys go on. The reason I was asking like if Transformers was originally Japanese or not, I wanted to clarify something before I go into my main point. Like a lot, like you'd be surprised how many like shows in the '80s, from like G.I. Joe to Transformers, even come on, Thundercats.
Yep.
First-
Thundercat.
A lot of the, I mean, like they're all American properties, but they were like animated in Japan,
Yeah.
or like they were outsourced in Japan. That's why
Yes.
a lot look like anime.
Back
And I
when
didn't
anime
realize
still
that.
had realistic
Even Silverhawks,
proportions.
I believe.
Yeah,
And
like
I didn't
Captain
notice that.
Planet. Like
I didn't
Captain
realize-
Planet.
hmm
Okay, so
And I didn't
Okay.
realize that
Like
until I
Captain-
saw Gatchaman for the first
Hey,
time.
hey, like
I was like, oh, like that.
okay,
So
so
that's why they looked the way they did.
I have
Captain's technically anime, actually. It's a Japanese show.
hmm
Aired
Okay,
in
so-
Japan first.
I have some ideas, and I'll run this past y'all. Okay, so the Resident Evil CGI movies goes in this order. Man, that's so weird because it goes opposite. It like
We can see
the thing is flipped. It's so
Oh,
weird.
we see it.
You
Resident
could've
Evil
just gotten the
Damnation.
settings.
No. I'm sorry. Resident Evil Degeneration. This is the first one. Resident Evil Damnation. That's the second one. If you're noticing something,
Generation.
they all have Leon in it.
Mhm.
And then Resident Evil Vendetta. This has Leon, Chris Redfield, and Rebecca Chambers. Is that her name? I think it's. I think
Yes.
that's her name.
That's
So-
Rebecca.
Yeah. We could do those if y'all want. We could do Beetlejuice.
So I still haven't seen that from beginning to end.
Beetlejuice? Okay.
That one, yeah.
Okay. I like to do.
It's funny how you have them all on Blu-ray.
Godzilla.
Well, no. Well, I'd like them all on Blu-ray.
Beetlejuice.
Godzilla.
Yeah, Beetlejuice.
Yeah,
I like to do some
With the
Godzilla movies
dog.
because I have most of them. I have
Ooh.
most of them, and I actually have
Is
some
that-
of them in collections. So I have multiple copies.
Is that because that was Destroya? Because that's one of my favorites.
That's the
Mhm.
one. Like, okay, this is the one. Destroya is the one. That made me cry as a kid.
Okay.
Aw.
Because I still have my Godzilla from when I was 4 years old. I kid you not. It's on the headboard of my bed.
Man.
And I would actually like
Why? Because
my
God
family would
died?
freak out because its spines are sharp, well, very
Mhm.
pokey, and I would fall asleep as a small kid like this, with it, like a teddy bear. I was a weird kid. Like I was a weird kid. Like as much like we're talking about a Disney movie, and I was just as much as likely as I was to watch a Disney movie. I kid you not. I was also just as likely to sit down and watch The Abyss as a 4-year-old.
Oh.
And I did.
Yeah.
I was a weird kid. So
Mm.
I like to talk about one of the or
The Abyss
this movie especially,
movie.
but I'd like for us to talk about different Godzilla movies from time to time.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've only seen like a couple full Godzilla movies, but I know like a bunch of. I know most of the characters,
Mhm.
or I'll recognize them real quick. Like I know
Hey,
some of the
Vic, if you're-
storylines, so I would be prepared for that.
Okay. Yes, Tony.
Cowboy Bebop one day. One
The
day.
movie. The movie.
Mhm.
I
Yep.
have the movie and the series. It's great.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Tony got so excited.
Yes! 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 I love the movie. Yes!
We should talk about Logan because I am like I don't want to say I'm the
If you know what
Wolverine guy of
Godzilla
YouTube, but it's getting close.
If
Mhm.
you know what Godzilla movie made me cry? Godzilla 1998.
I actually have that one too because I'm a Godzilla fan, I'm legally required to own every Godzilla movie.
Yeah. All right.
I say we go for
Old man
Godzilla.
Logan.
Yes. Like, what'd you say, David?
We go for Godzilla.
You want to do Godzilla versus Destroya?
Sure.
Or you mean like Zilla?
Because okay, I have. Okay, hold on. This is okay. So I have. You're gonna call me crazy, but I don't care.
Hey,
I'm not ashamed
met
of it.
you, and this is crazy. If you don't
Like,
remember, so
I have-
baby.
I have Godzilla Final Wars, Godzilla versus Biollante, Godzilla.
That was a good one. I read that.
2014. No, this is the original Godzilla. I'm sorry, the original Godzilla. I have Godzilla 2014.
It was okay.
I have
The original
Godzilla
Godzilla.
versus-
That was great. That was great.
I have Godzilla versus Hidora. No. Hidora, the smog monster.
Yeah.
Godzilla versus Gigan and the Matthew Broderick one.
Mhm.
I have the Godzilla collection, the original Japanese, the original American, the original sequel, Mothra versus Godzilla, aka Godzilla versus the Thing. Okay, John Carpenter. Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, Invasion of the Astro Monster, aka Godzilla versus Monster Zero, All Out Monster Attack, aka Godzilla's Revenge, Terror of Mechagodzilla. And I have
Whoop.
Shin Godzilla.
Mhm. Yeah, that's definitely one of the scarier ones in terms of design.
Yeah, he looked
Scarier one.
Wait. Do you have Shin? Yes. Shin Godzilla, baby. Shin Godzilla.
Shin?
Shin Godzilla.
yeah.
Shin Godzilla.
You know what? It's ironic.
I also have Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and I have Call the Conqueror with Kevin Sorbo. And just to give y'all information, Cole is the precursor to Conan.
Mm-hmm.
Like books and everything. Like Cole came before Conan.
Nice.
So, we have some options, and if y'all have other options too, please let me know. Like, I don't want to steal the show. Like, yeah, it's my channel, but like, I want y'all to have it, like, input and stuff too.
You got it.
Black Cauldron.
Oh, that'd be
I
interesting.
actually don't have that movie, and I don't know how to get it. I want to get it.
Oh, easy, pirate. Insert website here. I won't talk about it. But anyways, piracy
got a
is
suggestion.
immoral. It's very moral.
Hey,
yeah.
I have a suggestion. I have a suggestion.
Okay.
I have a suggestion. Necrophilia. Hey, guys. Necrophilia. Great. No, I'm just kidding. No.
What movie are
50
you
Shades of
talking
Grey.
about? Like, I may be wild and crazy, but I'm not that wild and crazy.
No, he was joking, but then he said he was just joking around, and then he said Shades of Grey.
We should probably end the stream right now because it's over the 2-hour mark.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so this was very disorganized, but that's typical for us.
Don't worry, we'll get better.
We'll get better.
If we improve with our Discord meetings, we'll improve with this.
I hope you enjoyed the extent
of
our viewers.
Say what?
Tony, say that again.
We like to have fun here.
Oh yeah.
We like
to have a lot of fun here.
All right, so
we like to
have so Victor, you want to say this
go long.
Yeah.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on the Wild Side, and see you next time.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Like, share, and subscribe to our channel.
Yep. And we'll see you all next time.
All of our channels, please. Thank you very much.
Yes, subscribe to David B. Rockin, Decker Ramirez, and Wildman. Oh yeah, and also Uzumaki too.
Or I'll come over to your house. No, I won't say that.
Okay, what I was trying to say was
I will send Victor over there.
Clan 7798.
Yeah. What I was trying to say was
Uchiha's where it's at. Oh, yeah. I forgot it's reversed. Okay, I'll end it. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Dead.